He's gone, Jamie.
Oh, yeah, it's gone there, hasn't it?
He's gone over.
I think we're back. Look, it's saying record only. What do you mean record only?
That means record.
Yeah, I know, that seems different. Lads, I thought we weren't going to get a podcast out this week. Looks like we're gonna manage it. How are you both? You're looking well.
Hush!
Good night.
Hello, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Big
Go on, Brian, lad.
Oh, Brian, lad.
Are you always with Brian these days, Tank?
Me and Brian are like, look, we have a bond, don't we, mate? Look, he's a fucking belter. Look at that.
Is he well behaved?
No, he's a little bastard. Batters the dogs and everything. My
Really,
hands,
yeah.
pieces off me, scratches like fuck, but he is funny, like.
What's his deal with sofas and stuff? Because I'd love to get a pet, but the thought of like the dog eating me sofa or biting me door frames.
Have a little sit down. Look, he's chilled.
How much did he cost?
You know, it's
10 Bitcoin.
He doesn't want to tell us that, does he, Jim?
10 Bitcoin, lad, is a million crypto.
750 quid he was.
Gee, it's not bad. It's not bad.
He's like a British short-haired or something. He's a nice cat.
Jimbo, whose fault was it that we didn't do a podcast this week or didn't do one last week? Didn't do one last week.
I'm taking umbrage with the tweet that you put out, and I nearly said something like, "Oh, if we can get the book." It's never me. It is never me. Last week, Tank
literally was you the other day. You were on the way to training.
No,
what do you mean?
Literally, Tank was like, "Oh, I can do 11," and then just disappeared till 4 o'clock, and then no one else could do it. And then the week before,
and it changed.
And then me and Tank said, "Oh, we're doing today," and you just never said anything. And then, like by Wednesday, you went, "I could have done Monday." Well, why didn't you fucking say anything?
So I've told you the time slots I can do of a Monday, I definitely did. And then no one could do those. Then the other day, Tank was like, "Yeah, I can do 1:30." So I'm sat here at 1:30 with all my notes ready to go. Didn't hear from Tank till 4 o'clock. Then I said, "Right, go on, we can jump on now and do it." Then Jimmy sends me a picture on the way to training. So I was like, "Okay, so we're not doing today." So I feel like we're all equally as culpable to this.
Not me.
Jimmy's WhatsApp. I couldn't fathom out which one was in.
It's never nothing is ever Jimmy's fault though. To be fair,
it's not my fault. Anyway, I made myself a nice cup of coffee.
Oh, I'm glad.
Jimmy, can I just say something, mate?
I'm gonna get a photo of that. Wait there, Jim. Give us a big slurp.
Jimmy, why is your head that shiny? Have you polished that?
Smile, Jim.
No,
what's your skincare routine, Jim?
You are?
Your skincare routine?
No, I don't. You know, it's just. I think it's a light.
He's had Botox, Tank. He's had Botox.
I've just got this light shining on me. See, I'm not shining anymore. I've just got a fucking full bright light on me.
Yeah. Bang of the only way is Essex off him. He'll come in with fucking Ryland teeth next week.
I do need to. I went to Waterworld yesterday and I'm a right fat cunt now as well. And I need to start sort of looking after myself now. I'm getting a bit older.
Jim, how are you possibly fat, mate? You're the
I'm
skinniest person
I'm not
I've ever
fat,
met in my
but
life.
like the dad bod's creeping up on me, and like I just don't give a shit about any. I'll eat what I want, and I don't do any exercise. So,
how old are you now, Jimmy?
I turned 38 in December, pal. So it's getting there. I'm actually pleased for how I look for 38, but I would like to be
giving himself loads of praise.
I'm actually quite happy that I've got fucking buzz eyes. My face is a mess, dead shiny.
Buzz eye. One thing I ain't got is buzz eye. I got a funny lip and all sorts, but one thing I ain't got is buzz eye.
You got lovely blue eyes. One blue that way, one blue that way.
Oh, you seen that video too, have you? Oh.
It's a belter, isn't it?
Halloween, lads. We didn't catch up over Halloween. What any Halloween traditions in your households, Jim? You're always getting the families together for a big party. Yeah. What did you get up to?
We live on like a little, like a new build estate, and it's like it's in a cul-de-sac. It's like a circular road with a green in the middle, and then you got some other houses, and it goes up and round. And honestly, it's like being in America. Everyone's out. Everyone's putting the pumpkins out if they want trick-or-treaters. It's class, mate. I love it. So we go out, take the kids out, And one year we had a party on the green. I don't think that'll happen again. But yeah, we love it round here, especially on our estate. Same goes for Christmas. It's like National Lampoon's Battle of the Christmas Lights. And I was
just going to say, Tank, you want to see Jimmy when it comes to Christmas time with his Christmas lights, mate. You have seen National Lampoon's Christmas. Is it Christmas Vacation, Jim, or something like that? Like his house is like the national grid, like, you know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous. What about you, Tank? I don't know why. I feel like you don't get sweets in, you don't answer the door.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. My Halloween it's Sharon's mum's birthday. So they all go to the sisters and they all go trick-and-treating. And this is the God's honest truth. My ritual every year is close every curtain in the house and don't answer a fucking thing what knocks.
Couldn't do that.
It's harsh, that.
Just listening to people knocking on the door going, don't see me.
Yeah, they're buzzing on the gates, to be honest, and they can't get to the door.
Do you know what I was just thinking about there when Tank mentioned the mother-in-law? I'm still not over the fact that he kept his mother-in-law. I did believe
every
that.
time he says the mother-in-law, I think, oh no, I don't want to.
You know what? I was talking about that. One of the lads we were talking about something like fucking. Anyway, and he said, "Oh, do you get up to the mother-in-law?" I went, "Yeah, I get on great, but you do. I get on great, but she's fucking brilliant, like, and she can take a joke. She has to. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
She has to. I send her all of them sex noise videos and everything, and she loves them."
Oh, Jesus. And it just to remind me, Tank, it was full. The knickers came down as well. It was full.
That wasn't meant to be fair, but it must have been loose. Must have been a new pair of knickers for Christmas you put on with a bit loose. But I've just gone like,
and why would new knickers be loose?
Way. Do you know what I mean? They never come all the way down, but they are.
You saw Beaver?
No, because she was facing the kitchen that way.
Did anyone see Beaver?
It was when she bent down to pull them back up again. That's when she
started smiling at me. I was like, "Oh, hello,"
winking.
So before we get into the footy, because there's loads I want to get into, Tank and Ngannou Fury. The one thing I would say about that is boxing doesn't come across very well there. Does boxing lost that night a little bit, didn't he?
I think we spoke about this a couple of weeks back when it was the fucking that Dillian and whatever they are. Boxing is killing itself. And am I right in saying, lads, hasn't some of the big US sports channels cancelled contracts with some of them as well? I'm sure I was reading that the other day. But you know what? It's boxing's own fault, because you have a look at the heavyweight now. There's some great fights out there, and particularly the heavyweight division. There's some big fights fucking be made out there, and none of them want to fight each other. So the fact that Tyson Fury fought him in the beginning was a bit of a farce. And he's obviously not took it serious. And I never watched it because I just can't bring myself to pay to watch these stupid fights. But by all accounts, it did look like he lost the fight.
But he might have just edged it, but he looked poor. Like he looked, to me, he looked like he didn't train. And to be fair, Francis Ngannou was impressive. He did way better than I thought he would. So yeah, it was just a weird one. And I'm the same as you, Tank. I wish they'd just put it all in the bin and get back to what it used to be, putting on the best fights. But as we've spoke about a couple of weeks ago, boxers seem to do all they can possibly do to avoid the biggest fight and fighting the best these days. So, Jimbo, I want to come to you first, right? And my first question is, actually, I'm gonna read some stats before I ask you the question. And we're going to talk about Manchester United to start with, right?
Yeah. You just come back with stats about Harvey Elliott now. No matter what your stat is, he'll let you with a Harvey Elliott stat.
Why are you acting like I'm a Man United fan? Come on.
Also, why do you hate Harvey Elliott?
I don't hate Harvey Elliott.
I was mad the other day, by the way.
I know you were. And my point is you'll use.
Did you hear what I said on Twitter? I was like, you just play into the gallery now.
I know you did. I wasn't. I was literally proving a point that you'll use stats for one person and then completely different stats for someone else. So, like, I get that one's a striker, but still. Anyway,
do you know why I think you're talking utter shite here, by the way? I think you're just saying it to wind me up.
I'm not. Genuinely don't. I want my attacking midfielders. If anyone talks about Kevin De Bruyne, right, they'll talk about his goals and his assists. More assists than goals, but they'll talk around his assists. If you're talking about Jack Grealish, when you start talking about these players that are in these attacking play, and I know you're going to say, oh, Harvey Elliott, he played there all last season. He might be playing a bit deeper, but even still, I want assists and goals from a player if you're saying that they're an integral part of the team.
Well, Harvey Elliott isn't an integral part of Liverpool's team.
You said he fucking makes the whole Liverpool team tick.
I was talking, that was Curtis Jones.
Oh, sorry. Okay, fair enough.
Look, you're tying yourself up in knots.
No. I got me. But even still, I don't think. My point is,
Harvey Elliott should not be based on goals and assists. He's a completely different type of player.
Let's get to your point here.
Anyway, don't get me started, right? Please don't mention Harvey Elliott. So I'm going to read you some stats. Manchester United now. 5th home defeat in 10 games across all competitions. 8 defeats in 15 games, the worst start since 1962. First time they've conceded 3 goals in consecutive games at home since 1962. They must have been shite in 1962, by the way. That's what I'm thinking there. Jim, Ten Hag, is he a tin roofer, mate? Is he an utter spoofer or what?
I don't... Yes and no. It's a hard question to answer. I think the history of...
To answer. You can't have a yes and no.
The recent history of Man United will dictate that no one can go in there and do anything with this current crop of play. What will lie on Ten Hag is the players he's bought, and the players he's bought have been awful. So that will lie on Ten Hag. He's got opportunities, and I don't know if that's him going, I want this guy, go and get them, and they've gone, yeah, fine, we'll do that. Or someone above him might go, oh, like Hoyland, let's go get him, and he probably will come good. He's got the ability to do so, but at this moment in time, he's not scoring, he's not leading the line, and then you've got the other lads that they signed from the Dutch league. So that will rely on Ten Hag. Last season, Ten Hag did all right. He did okay. He brought in some players, and he did okay. The issue you've got now is, I think that, and I said this in a couple of podcasts ago, I don't think anyone can do anything with this crop of players. I think the place is rancid from the top to the bottom. I don't think there's anyone anywhere, give them Jurgen Klopp, give them Pep, give them anyone, and I don't think they can do anything, because I think Rashford's stinking the place out. I think the team is awful. They've recruited badly yet again. They've got no one in there that will come in and do what is needed for that club. So I just think that he's not done himself any favours. I think he'll be a good manager and he'll be an okay manager. I don't think he's an elite manager like some like Man United need. But the honest answer is to you, if they were to stack Ten Hag today, other than Pep or Klopp, I don't know of anyone that could come in and go, grab this team by the balls and go, right, this is where we're going to go and this is what we're going to do. And people will start looking at Postecoglou and stuff. I don't think he would have the same impact because it's not the same group of players. You've got people in there at that Tottenham that are willing to fight and put in a hard graft for him. And if he went to United and didn't the same, I don't think that group of players will do the same of what Tottenham players would do. So I think I genuinely don't know where Man United goes after this. And I think Ten Hag isn't the man, but I don't know who is the answer.
Tank, do you know what I think, right? So I think there's some truth to what Jimmy's saying. I think the place is rotten at the moment, and I think the players have been given a free ride for a very, very long time. It seems evident to me that whenever a manager tries to put it up to them, the dressing room turns against the manager. And I think now you're starting to see, I think Ten Hag's lost the dressing room. I can't see a way that he turns this around. I think there's too much player power. I think you look at the carry on from Fernandes the other day. He is everything that is wrong with that club. I wouldn't have him anywhere. I wouldn't start Bruno Fernandes. Never mind have him as captain. I think he's a luxury player that doesn't want to run the other way. And I don't think his ends justifies the means at the moment. I know he's had good stats in the past, but I wouldn't have him anywhere near the team. Rashford seems to have down tools. I think it was actually, I seen something in the week. You remember Ralph Ragnick when he came in? He called it perfectly. as to what needed to be done at Manchester United. And as soon as he said that, it's like, oh, no, hold on, that's going to take too much work. You know, I think he even dropped Rashford. I think he was playing Elanga instead of Rashford. So it's funny how these things over time are starting to show that Jose was right and did a bloody good job at Manchester United, all things considered. Rangnick was on the money with what needed to happen. But I think what you're starting to see now, Tank, is Manchester United might stick with Ten Hag. And the only reason that they'll stick with him is because he's the last in a line of managers that have struggled. And they'll just say, well, we can't keep changing the manager. But I don't think, Tank, he's done one thing to justify faith. Spent a load of money on poor players. He's not improved one player, in my opinion. In fact, he's fell out with players, multiple players at this point. He even turned around the other day after the Manchester City game and said that the players executed the game plan well. Are United just going to stick with this guy and then ultimately waste the season? What would you do, and what do you make of it all?
Well, I'm just going to go back to some of Jimmy's points there, because Jimmy said that no manager could do anything with that group of players. This fucking manager signed them all. Then Jimmy said Klopp and Guardiola couldn't do anything with this group of players. And then he says that it needs someone like Pep and Guardiola to come in. So
no, I said other than that, they're the ones he could bring in.
Let's just get the facts right where we are now, right? This manager is the worst manager that Manchester United have ever had. Jimmy's the stat man. All the stats will tell you that.
Last year.
He's a complete and utter disaster of a manager. Don't tell me that you can't do nothing with that squad. Don't tell me that, because they've got some fucking good players. The Aston Villa manager, he's gone in there and took them from the bottom of the league to the challenging for the top four with almost identical squad. Why? Because he's got a set way of he plays, and you fucking do it or you're out the door. The lad at Spurs, don't tell me that he couldn't have come in and to improve Manchester United tenfold. He's gone. Did you see James Maddison's interview about him? Said he's come in and he said, these are my non-negotiables. You do them or you're not here. You're not on my team. So he set the standard straight away. This is how I play. You press from here. If you don't do that, you won't play for me. And Tottenham are playing. Listen, Tottenham are in a fortunate position because they've had a dream run of fixtures. But you can see the identity of what he's doing. This Ten Hag, and I called it from the fucking off, is the biggest spoofer you will ever see. And a manager who's struggling always goes back to the old route of signing players who's played under them and the fucking crap. Honestly, I don't really know what Manchester United do from here, because, you know, if you're a top draw coach, you know how your side wants to play. You play either counter-attack, high press, or whatever you play. I have no idea what Manchester United do. It's just like, I'm going to pick these players and I hope to God something happens. They're an absolute car crash. And the way Gary Neville goes on about the owners, fuck off. Just get a set of bollocks, Gary Neville, and call it as it is. The manager is woeful. He's absolutely woeful. Not one of his signings has been any good. Name a signing what you've gone. He's actually done all right, Tim. He's actually done all right. He's improved Manchester United slightly. You had the Golden Glove winner,
Evans,
the best keeper in the Premier League last season, but you release him and you get a lad in who's good with his feet but has got no arms. That alone's a stackable offence. The fidget spinner, 85 million. I mean, we talk about Bruno Fernandes. How's he not being sent off for that swipe and punching? You know, that's two sending offs in one. They're an absolute carcass, but I do agree with you, Jamie. I'm not too sure how you can do this, because a new manager is going to come in and you can guarantee that he'll want to get rid of 14 or 15 of them and just say, all go. They all have to be out of this club. And
it was Ralph Rangnick who said, I think he said 10 players need to go at the time. I think he was, and he said, look, it doesn't need to be phased over a long period of time. He goes, but there seems to me, Jim, an issue with the culture at the club. And I think they need to identify very, very quickly who are, well, you can see it on the pitch. In my opinion, you can see it on the pitch. Club. Not a proper leader. Not a proper leader. And you know what? Tank raised the point there. I know I slag Gary Neville a lot, but I think he justifies it. I think he flip-flops his opinions. He plays to the gallery, and he should not be able to commentate on Manchester United, because he's probably a bit like me with Liverpool. His bias towards the club clouds his judgment. And I actually think it removes all his credibility when he talks about them. Because I used to love listening to Gary Neville. Now I find him unbearable. His inability to think critically and talk fairly about Manchester United and the excuses that he makes. It's beyond ridiculous. And I actually think he's doing more harm than good for the club in trying to ignore things that are staring him in the face. And Tank said it perfectly, in my opinion. You don't know what type of team Manchester United are. Ten Hag's been there a while now. Carragher said it. You play counter-attacking football. Didn't Ten Hag come in as a manager that likes to dominate the ball and dominate possession? I've seen no signs of that. It just seems like the job is too big for him. And do you know what, Jim? I'll go one step further. Yeah, I think the job's too big for him, and I think he wants out. I can see it in his demeanour.
Why wouldn't he? I mean, you go back to Ajax, they're doing awful on. They're like in the bottom two last time I saw Ajax. So, and he'll get a massive payoff. So why wouldn't he want out? I've said it from the beginning, and I'll say it again. This group of players, and Ragnar was right, is you can't play any type of football because the players aren't good enough.
Casemiro, his group of players.
He's bought. But if you think about the players he's bought, Onana, that Malacia, who can't get in the team. He brought in Martinez, who's injured. Varane was already there. Casemiro, who did, we're all applauding last year, and he seems like he's swapped for his brother now.
8 games where he was brilliant.
Yeah, he did well, same as Rashford. And then Anthony is awful. So, but you can't. The problem is the mentality of this squad. It just seems like they think, we can overbear the manager, and what we decide goes. So he can't. Where Postecoglou's different, he's got a group of players seemingly that have been they were a good group of players under Conte, but it was a shit show and everyone hated him. And he's coming, all he's got to do is put an arm around that group of players. He's brought in Maddison, that was a great signing, with people like Son and losing Kane. It's not rocket science to get players who have the ability to run through walls. The problem with the Manchester United is mentally they're not that type of players. Not one of them will go, I'm going to grab the ball by the horns here. You got Fernandes flailing his arms around. Anthony doesn't want anything to do with it. Rashford's clocked out by the end of last season after he thought he was, his fucking fart stunk of roses because he got over 10 goals for once. It's just, as I said, and the owners have something to answer to. Of course they do. I saw that their debt that they initially bought the club was 500 million. That's now $1 billion. So although Neville does go on it and he doesn't really talk around the football, he has a point. But what he needs to do is be more subjective to the football on the pitch, because people will say, the owners don't influence the pitch. And it shouldn't do, because they're going to get paid, the players, no matter what. So that the only thing that you could be wary of, am I going to get paid or whatever? If they get sold, they get millions. If they, they've got no issues other than on the pitch footballers. That's all they need to think about.
That's what a manager's got. No other club in this country owners get brought into it. None at all. Liverpool have a complaint that their owners fucking had any chance of spending any money. But if we lose a game, we don't go, the owners. This is all the owners. Everything's the owner. Everything is the Glazers' fault. Absolutely everything. And there's got to be some sort of accountability for the manager who spent.
There is on the pitch. I get that.
There's no accountability for that manager on the pitch. You watch Sky and they're getting battered by everyone. They're just like, well, the whole club is poisoned from top to bottom. The owners this and the sporting director's not either. Well, hang on a minute. What the fuck is the manager doing on the training pitch? What is he doing? Because I watched little bits of the Newcastle game last night, and it's so easy to play against Manchester United. It's so easy. So why doesn't the manager get his coaches together and say, do you know what, we're having a bit of a fucking bad time here. Let's just go to a 4-4-2, 2 banks of 4. Make sure we don't concede in the first 20 minutes. Be solid, and then we can build from there. Not just keep saying.
That's what he wants to do. How's he going to do that, though, right?
You said about the Tottenham lad. He hasn't just gone into Tottenham and put the arm around him and said, look, let's be lovely and toughy. He's gone in there and he's laid it down. There's non-negotiating with me how I play. This is how I play, and you fucking will do it.
And the players have gone, yeah, I'm either going to do it or I'm not playing. Whereas I think if you did that at United, they go, I just won't play. Look at Sancho.
But that's the point, though, Jim.
Sancho's got to do is say sorry.
Players, he signed them.
But that's the point, though, Jim. Do you think he's strong enough? So to go back to your point there, right? So you said it perfectly there.
Strong enough.
You've got the Spurs manager. I think Eddie Howe would do a better job than him. I think what's his name? Unai Emery would definitely do a bit better job. Klopp, Guardiola. I think there's loads of managers. De Zerbi at Brighton, I think, would do an immeasurably better job than him. But you know what they all have? Balls. They have balls. So you said it perfectly there. If he comes in and said, this is the way we're going to play, and somebody like Rashford said, I'm not going to do it, or shows visible signs of not pressing, they should do what Rangnick did, which is bomb him. You don't play. But it seems like the players sing the tune, not the manager. And that's where I think it's too big for him, in that he doesn't seem to want to lay down the law enough. That, for example, right? Could you imagine within a strong dressing room? So when United got hockeyed to City the other day, Rashford is out that night. Now, players should have social lives, absolutely. But have a bit of awareness in the city where you've just had a local derby and you've had your ass handed to you. Keep your head down, go away, lick your wounds, come back, train harder the next week and try and put it right. It just seems like there's decisions being made from players that would never have dreamed to happen under the likes of a Keane or strong leaders, strong dressing room.
And I get that. I agree with you 100%. But if Rangnick comes in, right, and goes, right, this is how we're playing, and let's just say he's got the squad he's got now. He goes, this is how we're playing. You're not doing it. You're not playing. You're going to lose Rashford. You're going to lose Anthony. You're going to lose Casemiro. You're going to lose Fernandes. You're going to lose. So how do you replace them sort of 5 players? What, just put the kids in and they lose and get battered anyway?
Do you know what they need to do, though, Jim? Do you know what they need?
Than them.
Yeah, right. I was going to say, I think they've reached a point here where they've got loads of superstars that look like they want to down tools. Give me 11 players. Go and buy players with a point to prove. So, for example, they went and got somebody like a James Maddison who's taking a step up to a bigger club where he wants to go shine. Go and buy 7 or 8 of the next stars, not these players that think they're ready-made stars. I think United have reached that kind of inflection point now where it's like, look, it is. It's not working.
Commercial. It's a commercial decision, not a footballing decision.
But it all started for me, and this is where maybe it does go back to the ownership in some degree. In that, remember when they what was his name, the lad from Arsenal, Sanchez? They gave him an absolute whopping contract. I think it was, and then all of a sudden the other lads are like, well, hold on. Knock on the door. I want that. I think they gave the lad from Forest, did they, Tank, an absolute whopper contract? Did they? Henderson, the goalkeeper, got a massive contract. They were giving out huge salaries everywhere. So all of a sudden, then you've got these players sitting on huge inflated salaries, and they're not doing anything remotely close to justifying those salaries on the pitch. And I think it's just started to eat away at the culture of the club. I think you said it there, Jim. You would lose 8 to 10 of those players. I think they're the players that you need to lose if you want to turn it around.
As you just said then, the likes of the lad who was on loan at Forest, never played a game, or he played 1 game or something for United. Done well at Forest, done really well, by the way. Looks a good keeper. But because you come back there and United without panicking, the lad's on 120 grand basic a week. How do you justify that? But that's what Man United do. And this is where I think Man United are in for a real long, tough time, unless these owners bite the bullet and lose 100 to 200 million, because Fernandes is he's the most poisonous character you could ever have in a changing room. I couldn't imagine anyone worse that I've seen or played with who you would not want to be in the trenches with. He is the epitome of that. Now, he's probably on 300 grand a week with 3 or 4 years to go. So if you want to get rid of him, wherever he's going to go, he's going to get nowhere near them wages. So he's going to sit there and go, well, what are you going to do? You're going to have to pay at least half, or pay me up in full and I'll go. It's going to cost 10, 20, 30 million just to get him off the books. The same with Rashford. Rashford's on a fortune. I've always liked Rashford to play. I think the lad's got potential. He's a real threat. Always does it against Liverpool. But at the minute, he's kind of, and I do feel for him, by the way, just touching on Rashford, I think that he's the scapegoat for all the Man United fans. Man United fans, I can't believe they've never turned on Fernandes or the likes of this Anthony or someone like that. It's always the scapegoats in Harry Maguire and it's Rashford. Harry Maguire's actually come back in the side, and I think he's done all right. He's not pulled up any trees. He's actually done okay. He's certainly not one where you go, he's coming aside and he's the main reason. There's much, much worse players in that United side, but I agree with you. How would you get rid of him? How would you get rid of this massive, massive wages, what you hand out? And if you're a player now or a manager, and Man United come knocking on your door, you've got to seriously consider, as a player, it's a graveyard. That young lad, I like him. I think he's a fucking handful. He's raw, but he should be coming off the bench to replace someone like a Kane and learning the game slowly, slowly. You watch it, he'll just disappear in 3 or 4 years because the pressure's on him. United are having a bad time. He's not really scoring goals. He's not creating goals. He'll be another one in the graveyard. It's a poisonous chalice. I'm not too sure anyone would want to take that job, neither.
I'm gonna stay with you for a second, Tank, because we've obviously spoken about owners at length, and I want to get your opinion because you said at the start of the season that you were worried about the recruitment that Liverpool have done. You felt you'd left ourselves a little bit short, and by all accounts, you're looking at this season. Look, there's a lot of room to grow in this Liverpool team, but the lads in midfield seem to be, they've made some cracking signings in there. They've injected a bit of energy. You've got the young lad Quansah, who last night played against Bournemouth and was outstanding, I thought, to be fair, and that could probably be one of the main drivers why Liverpool didn't rip up trees to go and sign a centre-back, because they knew they had this little gem coming through. Where you were quite critical of the owners and Liverpool's recruitment. Where do you sit now with a bit of hindsight and seeing how it's all playing out?
Obviously, Liverpool, we've started the season really strong. There's no two ways about that, but I still think that we're short, Jamie. I genuinely do. We're playing McAllister, who for me, I love him as a footballer. He's not a 6 as long as he's got all in his arse. And I think in the big games, when you come into the nitty-gritty end of the season and he's still there, that will cost us. I'm not saying he will cost us, but not getting that specialist position nailed and done and dusted will cost us. There's rumours about this lad from Brazil coming in January, and it is much needed. It's much needed because we're still way short. McAllister, he's not that player for me. He's not that player. So the recruitments and the signings, Szoboszlai, whatever his name fucking is, he's been an absolute gem. Fair play to him. He's been outstanding. But aside from that, you've got Gravenberch, who does look a player, by the way. I'd love to see him get a run of games. But I just hope we don't try and make him out to be a number 6, because he's not a number 6. He's a ball carrier. He needs to play like you get the ball off your 6 and he can take you 20, 30, 40 yards forward in a blink of an eye. And I think the big key for me this season, and I'm actually surprised at it, is Van Dijk's looking like Van Dijk. I think that's one of the key things for us. And when Van Dijk is like he is, with a different side, it's like having a world-class centre-back signing coming again.
I might have to go back and delete some of your videos, Tank, where you were saying he was going to be signing for the Dog and Duck on a Sunday. Sunday, I think you'd written his obituaries and all sorts last season. Jim, I want to come into striker, the only striker on the podcast. Can we talk about my mate Darwin Nunez for a bit, please? Because that guy. Look, he's absolutely not the finished article. I'm not sitting here, but he does. He's fun. Now he's got a goal involvement every 56 minutes this season. And you got to see something there last night, which he's mad, that fella. Like, he'll score a worldie and then miss a sitter. You've seen it perfectly with the goal where now, to be fair, it was dead windy, right? Not to sound like Klopp blaming the weather.
My God.
But he miscontrolled the ball.
Please,
I'm telling you, the ball was, look, he should have brought it under control, but he miscontrolled the ball anyway. The Bournemouth fans were all jeering him. He goes and gets the ball, cuts inside. The Liverpool fans start singing his name as he's on the ball, and then he whips it into the top bin. If there was anything that sums up Darwin Nunez, it's madness. But what have you made of his evolution? Because for me, Jim, rose tinted glasses off, I think he's become an integral part of this Liverpool team. And when he doesn't play, you really do notice it.
To you?
I definitely do.
No. excuse me, he's an integral part of this team to you. I don't think he's an integral part to Klopp. I don't think Klopp still rates it. I don't think he rates him still.
What?
I don't think he rates him. I really don't. I think if you look at his numbers, he doesn't particularly play. I mean, he's scoring now, I get that, but I still don't think
So you're just going to ignore that bit that he's scoring now, yeah? Because to be fair, when new players come in, Klopp leaves them out the team for ages. So
I'm not talking about new. I'm not talking about early doors. I'm talking about now. He scored against Toulouse and Bournemouth in the Europa League and in the Carabao Cup. So
he's got one of the, if not the best, goals and assists ratio in the Premier League.
I'm on Darwin Nunez goals and assists right now.
Yeah, I know, and I'm telling you, if you compare them against all the other strikers in the Premier League,
1 goal against Forest, a goal against West Ham, 2 against Newcastle, and that's it.
Jim, you're not listening to what I'm saying.
I understand what you're saying, but my point is the stats that you put out last time, in which invoked the Harvey Elliott debate, was he's got a goal and assist every 56 minutes, right?
Yeah.
But that could mean he's coming off the bench for 15 minutes when everyone's goose, running like a madman, getting a sideways pass, which you hate for Harvey Elliott. You hate that an assist can be a 2-yard pass for someone to tap in. That's what you've said previously, right?
Right.
So Darwin Nunez could do that, or he could come on and score a goal, and he gets a goal and assist in 15 minutes. So always goal and assist in.
So you're blaming a lad for doing his job.
I'm not blaming him at all. I'm not, and I think he's a good.
Down here.
Yeah, where are you going with this, Jimbo?
I'm not too sure where you're going.
My point is, you're lauding him as this thing. I think Darwin Nunez is a very good player. I think he's very raw. I think he's he does stuff off the cuff that is mad. But you just said he's an integral part of the team, and he's not. I don't think he is. I don't think Klopp will start him in tough Premier League games, and I'll happily eat my words, but you've not had any particularly big games so far this season in the Premier League, I don't think.
Away to Newcastle when he scored 2.
Newcastle early doors, okay, I'll give you that. But there were early doors when Newcastle weren't playing particularly well. They were sort of 14th, 15th.
There's always something.
Am I not saying truth? When Newcastle 14th or 15th after 3 games, they lost.
Liverpool are the only team to beat Newcastle at St James's Park in a very long time.
Okay, and that's fine. I'll give you that. Right,
it's a big game.
But early doors, Newcastle struggled, and I'll look at if you want, I'll go and see the teams they lost against, because they were down there and we were talking around, is Eddie Howe too small for that job early doors? So I'll give you that, right? But if you've not, other than that, you played Chelsea first game of the season, you lost to Tottenham, okay, and we all know what happened there. But they're the only real games that you've had, right?
So what's your point?
So
Darwin Nunez didn't even start that Newcastle game, did he?
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Came off the bench.
So what's the point?
So my point is, I don't think Klopp still wants. I don't think he's the main striker for Liverpool. I think he'd rather play Diego Jota over Darwin Nunez.
Diego. Who's he playing? Diogo or Diego?
Diego.
His head's gone here, Tank. His head's gone.
How is it? Your head's gone because I'm saying that Klopp isn't having Nunez when you're acting like Nunez is the next bloody Pele when he scored a few goals coming off the bench against awful teams, and you've not really had a tough game yet.
Hold on. How is he? See, this is the stuff with the Nunez that annoys me. It's like everyone looks for reasons to knock down what he's doing. So you're telling me it's a bad thing that? And by the way, he scored goals when he started. He scored goals when he's come off the bench. So either way, he's a threat. He has.
Jimmy, the stat you're going at's just irrelevant. That's like us saying, well, you can't blame the Man United young forward because he's played in difficult games and he's not scored. Your stats are a load of bollocks, mate. He's got a goal or an assist every 56 minutes. It's off the fucking charts, no matter who.
It's not off the charts. It really isn't. It's like going, it's not off the charts. It's not off the charts because he played he started 1, 2, 3. He started 3 Premier League. No, 4. He started 4 Premier League games.
Which is
how many have we played, Jim?
Less minutes.
How many games have we played this season?
10.
Okay, and he's been injured and come back from
half the games.
He's been injured and come back from international duty. So
right, okay.
I don't get what the point is here. So you're
the
saying I'd say it's even more impressive.
I'm saying he's not an integral part. I don't think Jurgen Klopp sees him as an integral part at this stage, and the numbers would suggest that.
He's undoubtedly Liverpool next to Salah, the most important attacking player. You ask Mo Salah about him, then Mo Salah.
Well, why is he not starting every game?
Because he's been injured, mate. An international.
I told you.
Okay. That's the reason.
So he's injury prone then.
So then he's still coming off the bench and scoring.
So he's an integral player, but he's injury prone.
No, you're struggling here. You're struggling.
I'm not struggling because you just said he's not starting every game because he's been injured.
No, what I said is he's been away in South America for three games this season. I think it's 3, Jamie, is it? He's had 3 international breaks this season or 2, and he's come back and he's not started them games. And then he played in a midweek game and he had a tight hamstring. I think that was the reason he never started against Tottenham. It might have been, Jamie. I can't quite remember, or one of them he never started against. So that's 4 games, and that aside, when he's fit, he's been a starter. The beginning of the season, he wasn't the main number 9. It looked like it was Gakpo ahead of him. But then when he started coming on and changing games in the blink of an eye, Klopp was like, yeah, you're starting now. So I don't really know. The road you're going down is like, you're arguing against yourself.
I'm not arguing against yourself. All I am saying is that
Jurgen... better because he doesn't play. So when
I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm saying Jurgen Klopp doesn't see him as an integral part of the team that you just said he is. And that's my opinion. Otherwise, you would stop. Now you're saying he's injured, so I'm saying he's injury prone. So he's either one or the other. Is he injury prone? No,
what you said was that a goal or an assist every 56 minutes isn't impressive. That is.
I don't think it is. But that's my point. I don't at this moment. If he started every single game and he got a goal and assist every 56 minutes, I go, that is bloody brilliant. But he started 4 games.
But Jimmy, that's even more impressive then.
He's coming off the bench and still impacting games.
He's coming off the bench against bloody, I don't know, Union SG, or coming off the bench against bloody Bournemouth or Wolves and getting a goal and assist like that.
It's amazing, isn't it? Because you look at Anthony for Man United, who come off the bench for United the other day and should have got sent off and throwing tantrums and punching people and kicking. So that tells you more about the lad's character again.
What I'm not saying he's not a good player.
No, let's go back to the goals and assists every 56 minutes. So I would look at that and go, hold on, whether he's starting or he's coming off the bench, he's impacting games, he's having a good attitude, and he's getting goals and assists. I can't see how that's a negative.
Which is fine.
You said it wasn't
negative. I'm saying. So this is my point about the Harvey Elliott stats, right? I'm saying
not Harvey Elliott. No,
you're using this stat to say how good Darwin Nunez is.
When he's struggling,
this stat, but the stats are skewed. Your stats are skewed because he's played about. If you tally up the actual minutes he's played, it's minimal. He's played 490.
So that makes it even more impressive. You know,
does it? Because if he actually started, then his minutes would go up and his goals and assists should remain the same.
So if you put a player on for 10 minutes and he bags 2 goals, that's not impressive.
So you're saying Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the best player in the world because he came off the bench and scored a load of goals?
But did he score goals when he started as well? Because Nunez is doing both.
But he hasn't started the game.
Jimmy, he started the last 3 games and scored 3 goals. What are you talking about?
Against Toulouse, LSK and Bournemouth.
No, Forest.
Oh, the powerhouse that is Nottingham Forest.
See, you're just trying to do down everything that he's doing.
Your agenda.
My point is, I'm not trying to do down. I'm not. But you're acting like he's the next saviour, right? That he's this integral part to Liverpool.
I never said saviour. I said he's a key part of Liverpool.
Is he becoming integral to Liverpool? And the answer is yes.
Well, the answer to the question will remain, let's see if he starts when you've got a big game. That is the answer to this argument.
But what's that got to do with anything?
Because my point is, I don't think Jurgen Klopp sees him as an integral part that you think he is.
Okay.
That's my point.
But I've seen Liverpool play games where, depending on the opposition, he'll pick different front, lads. And if he has Darwin Nunez, who can run the last 20, 30 minutes and get 2 goals, and maybe you're playing Man City and you want to make it a 60, 70-minute football game and then bring on Darwin Nunez and or another player, and then he scores 2 goals, you're going to go, fucking hell, look at Nunez there scoring goals off the bench. That's a fucking bad stat, that. The game, so you can still be a key player, but you pick a team based on the opposition. You don't just always pick your best 11 all the time. That's not how football works these days. No?
I mean...
You have a little think there. Go on. How are you going to get out of this?
Thing. That's your argument. If it's me personally, I think you pick your best team. I'm not saying you pick it every single game. Hence why he's playing against Toulouse in the Europa League. You pick your team for the competition you're in.
Or to injury.
Yeah, he's just getting.
He missed the game before. Right. Okay, so he's back to the injury proneness. Right?
Oh, for fuck's
sake! Look, I'm not saying Darwin Nunez isn't a good player. He's done well. He's scoring and he's assisting.
Shit. He's injury prone.
I didn't say his stats are shit. I'm just saying it.
And you said his hair was shit as well.
I'm just saying it's skewed because he's played minimal minutes. What I'm saying is I would like to see him get a run of games, and I would like to see him start in the big games to tell me that he's an integral part of this Liverpool team.
He is getting a run of games, and he is impacting every single one of the games.
He played against Toulouse and Bournemouth in the cups that you play your rotation.
But it isn't just that though, Jim. He's played in the Premier
League.
The
weekend.
Who've Liverpool got this weekend, Tank?
Is it Luton away?
Luton away it is, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He'll get 85 goals there, and he'll be the best striker in the world.
I've never known anyone as a striker that can mock someone for scoring goals in consecutive games and getting assists. It's absolutely wild to me.
Listen, I'm not being funny, right? And don't take this the wrong way, Jimmy. This is the issue with fans like Jimmy of football who all have this mad agenda against Darwin Nunez.
There's no agenda.
Hold on, Jim. Let's Hank.
I am not saying there's an agenda.
Let's Hank finish there, Jim.
Jimmy, there is. And honestly, I don't take this the wrong way, mate. Your rant here is just so bizarre. And it's what happens with Darwin Nunez, because you look at some of the signings and you could pluck quite a few of them. You could even go as far as the Chelsea, the lad they've got up front. You could go to the Anthony. You could go to the Man United's new sign and the forward, the young kid, who are not doing anything. But then you see your opposition fans when Nunez misses a sitter and there's gifs about him and he's shit and he's this and he's this and he's this. And I guarantee you every single fucking Premier League manager would snap your hand off if you could sign Darwin Nunez now. Every single one of them, including City, Arsenal, United, Chelsea, every single club would snap your arm off for Darwin Nunez, because I'm telling you now, as an ex-defender, he is everything what I would absolutely fucking despise to play against week in, week out. And to say his stats are not impressive with a goal or an assist of almost every 50.
I didn't say they were. I said they were skewed. You're using stats.
It's not impressive. And to think that, it's kind of like the agenda against it, because if we're sitting here now and say, for instance, the kid of Man United come in and the forward, and he had a goal and an assist every 56 minutes, everyone would be going, that's the best signing that's ever been seen. He's unbelievable. He's up there with Haaland. So,
but you said Haaland should get dropped a couple of weeks ago, and he's got to score a shitload of goals.
Haaland averages 8 touches per game. Great.
And 80 goals a season.
I would rather watch. I will pay money to go and watch Darwin Nunez over Haaland every single day of the week, because what you're going to get is crazy chaos and put a smile on your face. I don't want to watch a forward who averages 8 touches a game, who swoops on the back post and has a couple of tap-ins a game. That's not my end.
So them stats aren't good enough, right? They're not good enough.
And his tap-in stats. He's probably the best number 9 in world football. He's not someone who I'll pay to watch. I want to watch chaos. I want to watch Ronaldo and all of the Messi's. I don't want someone who had 8 touches in the game and scored 2 goals with 2 back post tap-ins. That's not enjoyment of football. Would I have Haaland at Liverpool? Fucking right I would, because he guarantees you goals. But that's my opinion. He's not an enjoyment to what. I don't go to Haaland. People are going on about the Ballon d'Or. Why is he winning the Ballon d'Or for having fucking 50
he scored 50 goals?
Yeah, but the football's a bit more than that. I want to see like.
How is it a bit more? You just 1 minute. This is my point exactly. Using stats 1 minute to say how good Darwin Nunez is, and then we use stats to say how good Hart. But it's shit stats. It's tappings. Gary Lineker only scored inside the box.
I
never said that, mate.
He didn't say that.
What I'm saying, I've said to you, Haaland is probably the best number 9 of world footballers. Goal. He is fucking phenomenal as a football fan and enjoyment. He's dull. You're watching this fucking worldwide superstar, which what he's portrayed to. He averages 8 touches a game. Fucking hell, mate. And I bet you a fucking couple of them as if Man City conceding it's a kickoff. That's not something that I want to watch. Would I have him at Liverpool? I said yes. Are his stats impressive? They're fucking phenomenal. Yes. But he's not someone.
So let me just reiterate, because you're saying I've got this agenda against Darwin Nunez.
I didn't say that. I said your rant is.
He said my rant. It wasn't a rant. I just want to reiterate the points that I actually made is I think his stats are skewed this season due to limited numbers. However, it's still impressive coming off the bench. That's a given. Jamie, you said he's an integral part. My point was I don't think Klopp sees him as an integral part, and that is just my opinion. Due to, I don't think he starts him in enough games. Now, you're saying it's because he's injured. Fine. For me, at this point, I think Darwin Nunez is a really good player, and I think he does what he wants, he needs to do at this moment in time. But I don't think he does what Klopp wants him to do, hence why he doesn't start. And I don't think that Klopp thinks he's an integral part of this Liverpool team, but I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form he's a bad player.
I think Klopp has said on numerous occasions now that his pressing from the front is immeasurably better, and that's why he's playing more, and he's also now delivering the goals and assists at a rate better than anyone else in the Premier League. So I just don't know how the lad can be knocked down for it, but I got lots from that question, so I'm absolutely delighted with how it panned out, to be honest. Thanks for playing again. Thanks for playing your part.
Darwin Nunez again.
I knew I'd get some bites. Tank, I want to finish on a quick one from you, right? And because it annoyed me. West Ham fans booing Declan Rice. Right.
Did he actually?
Yeah. And I just this, and they come out and it was like they were explaining, they were basically saying that they plan to boo Declan Rice and give him stick and all this. And this blew my mind because Declan Rice has been an unbelievable servant to West Ham, an unbelievable captain. He has generated, 100 million odd for the club to reinvest. 110. Yeah, he finished by lifting silverware, the first European trophy in God knows how long. Is that just a sign of like what football fans have just become all a bit pantomime now? Because for me, if there was ever a player that deserved to be applauded on and off the pitch, it would be Declan Rice. I just don't get it.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit taken back by that. I didn't watch that game, to be honest, but so I weren't aware of that. But I do find that very strange. As you said, what he's done there, he's come through the ranks. It's a fucking total and utterly bizarre one. As you say, he lifted silverware. What more? How you can't go out on a better high than that, can you? Lifting the European trophy for your boyhood club and saying, thanks, I'm going to try and win the league or, get into the Champions League with another club now, but thank you very much. It's like, and plus there's 120 million for me.
That's exactly it. And it was the same, when Grealish was moving to City. Like, I think there has to be an element of, look, you don't want to lose your best players, but if no disrespect to the clubs, but if you're West Ham, Jim, or you're Aston Villa and you have a Grealish or you have a Rice, and you're realistically not going to win too many of the biggest trophies, shall we say, with those clubs, but you have an opportunity to go compete and play in the Champions League consistently. Like, at any level, if a player has an opportunity to go and do something that will develop them, give them better opportunities, I don't get that side of football. Surely just wish them the best. As long as they're not going for pittance and they see down the contract and they don't get more, that's a bit of a naughty one. But these players have both got their clubs weighed in big time with money.
So this is the thing, isn't it? It's about how they've gone and who they go to. So as you take Declan Rice, for instance, he probably, for me, stayed a year too long and gave him the extra year and actually won the Europa Conference League or whatever one it was. And so he's done him, I think he's done him a favour by staying for that extra year. Surely fans know that you get these absolute worldly players that are going to outgrow the team. There's a reason. There's probably a reason why Mark Noble stayed at West Ham for so long. Is he probably? I can't imagine him having a load of offers like Arsenal coming in or stuff like. He might have had some offers in and around, and it wasn't the right thing to do. But he's not got the opportunity to sort of better himself and go play in the Champions League football. Grealish and Rice both had that opportunity, got the clubs weighed in massively, and left under the right conditions. They didn't go on strike. They gave them the time. They did what they needed to do. And then it was, a handshake by both the clubs to let them go. So the fact that they're booing him for me is just, it's just modern football, isn't it? It's the pantomime villain. It's the social media age of, let's all boo him because it's Declan Rice and he's left us and but surely they know deep down that was the right move for him to do. And I think most of them would.
Absolutely. Lads, what do you got on for the rest of the week? Thank you. You're busy. How's Jack getting on?
He's doing really well, mate. He was with the 21s the other day, but unfortunately he got called off. And I think he's got Coventry away, I think, on Saturday.
He's making the trip?
Yeah, they go everywhere to watch him, don't they? So I'll be going down there.
On my way that Saturday, lad.
Is it? I'll ring you when
I'm not here, though. I'm not here.
I'll tell you on the way home.
Jimbo, what about you, lad?
Nice, busy. I've got a nice dinner tomorrow, black tie event.
Lovely.
And then Saturday, I've got my nephew's 21st birthday.
Oh,
21st?
We're doing the Otley Run in Leeds.
What's the Otley Run?
So it's like a massive row of pubs on a big road in Leeds.
Jimbo, you've not got it in you anymore, mate. You'll be home by 9 o'clock.
I'm worried. It's at 11:30 start. It's fancy.
And you're going to try
dress.
and be like fun time, Jimmy, like
I'm fun Uncle Jim, aren't I? So this is the issue I've got. It's fancy dress, and I want to dress up. I want to be like proper.
Darwin Nunez.
Yeah.
I want to hit the target later, lad.
There he is. Go on, lad.
So I don't know. I've ordered my outfit and I'm not happy with it. I've left it too late and I'm a bit gutted. But yeah, it's gonna. We're getting the train at I think 11 o'clock from Hull to Leeds.
AM.
Yeah.
Oh, you're good. See, I'm a great daytime drinker. I've got a good engine on me. I worry about you there.
I can drink in the days when it gets later. Don't expect me past 8. But the thing is, our train home's, I think, 11.
Good 12-hour session, that.
Yeah.
And that's a long session with 21-year-olds, a load of kids.
It's the lack of sleep that does me, because we had a Halloween party there over the weekend. Our best mates invited us over. And, we left at 5 in the morning. And it's like... I'd much rather, if you said to me, Jay, we're going out at 12 o'clock in the day, boozing, and you'll be home in bed by 12, I'd be delighted. Get a curry on the way home.
12's late, lad, 10.
But that, you know what I mean? You get a curry on the way home, happy days, good night's kip, get up the next day, you're sorted. It's the days now where, what am I? Am I 38 or 39, Jim? I think I'm 39.
38 turning. Well, you just turned
39. I'm 39 in a few weeks, yeah. I just can't do the lack of sleep. If I don't have sleep, I'm done. So just get out early, good performance. Don't be a grumpy bastard, and then do an Irish goodbye and slip away.
So this is the issue in that I'm out Friday. Normally, I don't sleep at all. I wake up early, stupid early. So normally I try and get a good sleep in the night before. But I'm out the Friday. I'm gonna try and not drink. But you know what that like? So you have a few. I'm staying in a hotel, so I've got to get to bed. I've got to get home because we've got to leave about 7:30 to get to Hull for 10:30 to get the train at 11. So it's like the worst preparation for a session for an old man like me. That you
2 days on the bounce. Got to fend for yourself. 2 days on the bounce. No one telling you what to do. Yeah, this is going to end.
Uncle Jim's going to be fast asleep in the corner by 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right, on that note, I look forward to hearing how it goes next week, Jim. Don't ruin the party. Don't make a fool of yourself and put in a good performance.
I can't promise that.
Right, with that, lads, good to catch up as always. Let's see if we can get it boxed off early next week on time, Jimmy's tank is no one could see. If they don't watch on YouTube, for those that don't. Jimmy has a cup of coffee with Tank is a C-U-N-T written. I'm not going to say it because my mum listens. So
Yes, this is one of my wife's favourite mugs, and this is permanent markers. I'm just hoping it comes off.
Good one, lad. Right, everybody that's listening at home, thank you for all your messages asking where the hell we are. Apologies, it's a little bit late. We'll try and be better next week. Hope you're all looking after yourselves, and do us a favour, share the podcast, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. But most importantly, look after yourselves, and we'll be with you again next week. All the best.
Take it easy, boys.
Cheers, lads.